Hey there guys, welcome back. It is Maverick here today with the grand finale of Bocchi the Rock. Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be great. I already know what's going to happen, but even so that doesn't really hamper my excitement for this particular episode. I've been saying it, but the adaptation of this, right? Having Bocchi the Rock in anime form really elevates the original work by a lot because, it's a music-oriented anime, right? You gotta have the music there and you gotta have Bocchi's little freakouts and whatnot. That's what makes this entire series work, right? And so, I'm really looking forward to another great performance from Kesuku Band. I don't know which song they're going to play. It could be an entirely new thing, or they could be playing the opening, right? That's also something that a lot of music anime like to do, like sort of tie in the opening or endings into the actual music that they play. I will be a little bit disappointed if it's just the opening because I do want to hear more, original songs, new songs from them. But I wouldn't be too displeased because the opening is a great banger and I love that song. But yeah, I mean, let's just get into it and find out what's gonna happen, right? And I actually am kind of wondering because I don't really recall the festival being all that long once they actually got on stage. At the end of last episode, they were already going on stage, right? So there's probably going to be a little bit of an aftermath portion to this as well, and then maybe perhaps there will be some news in regards to whether or not there's going to be a second season. I will take a look after that. But for now, let's get into it and enjoy. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, they're starting directly? Oh, nice. They actually. Those are nice. Those are correct chords. Like, seriously, no high school band has this kite plays this tight, alright? Listen to Bocchi wailing over there. And I feel like, I'm not really talking too much about the drumming and bass, but, a good rhythm section is just there, right? They're just there. Although I think I talked about this before, but to me, the real, probably even more unrealistic, more than anything else, is Kita's playing. All right, like she's singing and playing flawlessly at the same time. And honestly, like her guitar parts are not that easy. Like rhythm guitar, sure, it's definitely nothing to compared to what Bocchi is playing, but that is hard as well. All right, well, I guess you can't really say hard, but more like it's not easy, right? Definitely not something that a novice can just pick up and play. Oh, okay. So they're actually going to play multiple songs. Oh, that is so great. Oh, there we go. Okay, so they're going to play two. Okay. That is actually slap bass. Oh, nice. Oh my god. Again, there is no high school band that plays this tight. Oh, there it broke. Huh, she broke her B string. I actually thought she was gonna break her high E string. Right, she has a guitar solo, right? Is that actually how? Right, so for a lot of different, for our more professional bands, they would have two guitars. They would have a backup guitar ready for a situation like this. Wait, this is a little bit different from how I remember this entire scene. Huh. I'm curious. Or actually, was I completely misremembering? Okay. But seriously, that was a sick performance. Last. Huh. Wow, free song? Wait, they played. I know they played free songs, but even in the manga, I can't remember if they actually did so much. Whatever. Or was it like before their last? Oh, is this is? I see. I see. This is how they did it. Yep. Wait, that was before the last. The legendary Hidori Bocchi Goto. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So they didn't actually have three different songs. Okay, okay. So it is similar to the manga. Never mind. I was just misremembering. Honestly, I kind of really want to go back and listen to that song again. Oh, so actually, maybe that was a mistrans. I actually didn't quite hear that. I'll have to go back and watch it because what I remember is that this is only after they. Okay. Anyways, I'll talk more after because this is important right now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that because I think that was supposed to be like that was their last song and uh, the crazy rocker chick. I mean, that's not exactly a bad. Yeah, it's just a program pack. Right, and then you can have like a backup guitar as well. Oh, are we actually getting the shopping? Are we actually gonna get the shopping episode in this one? That's called being a YouTuber. Good job. I think her videos. I can't quite remember, but I think I recall they showed them. I think I do recall that they get like tens of thousands of views or something like that. This girl. yeah, she's definitely gonna be a NEET in the future. But she's so cute. Oh, this is a foreshadowing as well, but we're not gonna get that now. Yeah, that's a that's a foreshadowing there, but we'll not talk about that right now. Oh yeah, this place is really popular. I've been there as well. Actually, I think I got like I got a pedal. I got a few pedals there, and really like the used instruments there are so damn cheap, so damn cheap, and high quality as well. Unfortunately, it's not really easy, flying to Japan, buying instruments, and then flying back. And these three are just like, Bocchi's just doing her usual self again. Just take it without even playing it. Play. Check the damn guitar, Bocchi! I think in the manga she did actually play it a little bit, but due to her anxiety and whatnot, you know. What about your mini album, girls? Ah, look at Bocchi. Actually, I was so caught up in talking, I forgot I forgot what guitar she got. Was that a Fender? Wait, we still have a lot after this. What the heck? And by the way, I love this song actually. It's really indie inspired. It actually reminds me of the indie scene here in my country. Oh, that was an interesting chord there. That's what I'm saying, right? It's got a lot of indie vibes, this song. Kimi ni Asakahuru. Asian Kung Fu Generations. Huh. Yeah, like two songs. Oh, like that is definitely something I'm gonna mention at the end here. Like this anime honestly did not disappoint in the music department at all. So I guess maybe there's gonna be like a little bit more at the end where she meets up with her friends. Yep. Or is it gonna be a foreshadowing of the future? Thank you for watching. Ah, such a good ending to this. I will see you guys after this. Guys, you know, if I were a person that expresses feelings a little bit more, a little bit more sentimental and whatnot, I would probably be crying right now at just how good this adaptation is. Like, I don't know, like it's I don't know whether or not it's a little bit maybe too a little bit too ridiculous, and this is just a funny little anime and whatnot, all things considered, and it's not like a masterpiece or anything like one of those big shonen epics like like whatever is, I don't know, like Demon Slayer or something of that sort, right? No, it's definitely not got the same level of investment and work and whatnot put into it. But there's just some things about an anime like this that you just feel like the love that is being put into it, that is shaping it, right? It just gets it, especially for someone like that really loves music, Japanese music, and particularly like this kind of band related type of topic. It's just the level of detail and care that they're putting into this is just honestly mind blowing in a lot of ways. I've said before that, honestly, out of all the music anime, like, I would definitely most recommend K-On! And Bang Dream, the Mandori series. Like, these two, they're really, Bang Dream maybe not so much just in the anime, but more in the, the entire media franchise overall. The care that they put into it is definitely why I'm willing to spend a lot of my money on it. I'm the type of guy that even though I can certainly afford it, I rarely like spend money on like even gachas, right? I play gacha games, like Genshin, Tower Fantasy, that kind of stuff. I never spend money on those. I only spend money on things that I feel like the team, the people behind it, the production behind it really makes me feel that this is a franchise that needs to be promoted, right? I want to spend my money on it. And honestly, Bocchi the Rock is, particularly this anime adaptation, is something that, I'm gonna like, if they are, I don't know, like if it's possible or whatnot, I definitely will buy their CD and whatnot. Even though like it's been years since I've actually listened to a CD, I only do music streaming nowadays. But still, this is a franchise where, or not necessarily a franchise, but this is a work that I definitely want to support. Actually, okay, maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's talk about this episode first, right? And why I'm talking about stuff this way. Okay, so two things right off the bat I do want to mention, mostly musical related. One is the ending song. So that one is no, that I don't think there's like really too much to add on there, but it is quite interesting for two things. One, it was made by the band called Asian Kung Fu Generation. So this is not actually specifically made for Bocchi the Rock. Actually, I think what they're implying is that this is one of their songs, but the Bocchi the Rock or Kisaku band are covering it. And actually, the funny thing here is that the one singing it is actually Bocchi-chan. It's Goto Hitori. And the person who wrote this song, by the way, one of the band members of an Asian Kung Fu Generation, is also called Goto-san as well. I'm not sure if they tried to do that to make like that kind of connection or whatnot, or are they implying like maybe her dad used to be like a huge rocker and was in band and whatnot. I don't know, right? If it was like, maybe it's just some kind of funny play on words. I definitely don't feel that's something from the manga. Although, to be fair, I haven't really read all that far along. The English translations haven't really been up to speed as of yet. But I guess it is a little bit disappointing that it's not entirely for this series. Like, it's not a new song directly made for it, but which would have been really awesome, because like I said, the entire feeling of that, really, the feeling for all of the songs that we've heard so far, all the opening songs, all the ending songs, all the insert songs, there is a sense of authenticity to them, because they have been made, they have been written specifically by, band musicians, or sorry, not band musicians, musicians who either play in a band or they are, singer-songwriters on their own right? Which is different from I'm not to put any hate on like actual music production companies and whatnot specifically being made for anime music, but the music here, it's not anime music, right? It is actually music. You can kind of blur the lines, obviously, and a lot of popular bands do write music that are used in anime, right? So, but there is like there is an indie feeling to this. I don't know how to describe this, like an authenticity to this, where it's different, right? Even in a lot of times when music is being written for anime, like they might put deliberate tropes or deliberate cliches and sorts of music writing into it, and so you get that sort of like anime hit theme kind of feeling, right? Whereas here, this is just good J-rock, to be honest. And not only J-rock as in what we listen to J-rock in terms of like anime J-rock, but really J-rock if you are listening to Japanese music, to Japanese bands, and they're I guess the less popular stuff, if you will. That is this kind of music, right? So it adds an air of authenticity to the music of this series here. And not to mention, like, how many songs we've actually gotten throughout all of this. Like, I absolutely love it, right? And even here in this finale here, we got 2 songs, and indeed they have all been released on music streaming services as well, and whatnot, and so that is absolutely great, right? Love it. And another thing I want to talk about, like the insert song for this episode, like the one where Bocchi broke her guitar string and was broke her guitar string and was forced to pull out the the bottleneck playing, or whatever it was that they call it. I think it's called Becoming Constellation or whatnot. But that one, like another important attention to detail that I feel like could have easily been overlooked, but was not. So I don't know how many of you guys know this, but when Bocchi broke her her E string and was not able to play, her playing actually stopped. And the actual background music, Bocchi's parts also stopped as well. They removed the lead guitar sounds from the actual song. And then only later on, when she joined in once again, did they join in once again, right? And it's such a small thing here, but it really shows attention and care to all of this, because they specifically went into this, the recording of this and took it out and matched it with the animation, matched it with what's being shown on screen. And later on, when they showed, like, I listened to the actual, like, streaming version of this song, like the full version of this song, it's different from what they're playing here in the anime, right? They actually adapted it, in the actual recording, the lead guitar portion was not being done with this. There was an actual, a more traditional kind of solo there that was being played, and it, like, there's a difference there, and it's things like this that really makes me appreciate the anime adaptation a lot more, because they pay attention to this kind of detail, which is important. Like, you would think this is obvious, but for a music anime, you have to pay attention to your music, right? You have to pay attention to the quality of it, to making sure that it fits the scene, fits the mood, fits the animation and whatnot. And by the way, like this one, in this particular instance of the animation of the songs, like, I really have no complaints. There were like a few things I caught where they were purposely trying to cut out Bocchi-chan's playing, because she is playing some pretty complex parts, and I guess they didn't want to deal with it and animate that part, right? So I don't know if you guys can catch it or not, but there are specific scenes where it's they're purposely hiding the hands of Bocchi, which is, they're basically trying to lessen the burden of themselves, right? But I can get it, right? I'd much rather they do that rather than animate something completely incorrectly. So that gets a pass from me. But just stuff like this. I feel like I'm kind of rambling on one part, but it's really hard to describe, like, why exactly I'm feeling this so much. Not so much, I'm sure a lot of people probably relate to this because of, Bocchi and whatnot. I'm sure, it kind of goes hand in hand, right? I'm sure that a lot of people who watch anime and read manga, not to be like discriminatory or anything, but I'm sure there is a more disproportionate amount of introverts and people with social anxiety and whatnot, right? It's just those who are more extroverted and whatnot are probably doing some stuff other than reading manga or watching anime. Not to say that they don't, just saying that the proportions are a little bit different from normal, right? And so I've certainly heard from a lot of people how they really relate with Bocchi and really relate with what she's going, and this kind of social anxiety and whatnot, and they can sort of like give themselves some power to face these kinds of situations as well, right? And that's great and all, but to me, like, as someone who doesn't necessarily have this kind of anxiety, what I'm getting the most feels by, if you will, is actually music, right? once again, going back to the heart and soul of this, the music, and how they are paying attention to it, how it's really, it's even though it's not like a really hardcore music anime, really talking about, very, very complex things, and having a bulk of the discussion and having the entire, all their conversation and whatnot revolving around. It's not, but the parts that are there is, is very, very authentic and very, very true, right? And it just it just makes me so happy to have an anime like this coming out here, really out of nowhere, really, sort of like how K-On! Came out of nowhere, if you will, but just like, I don't know, but certainly I feel like actually a lot of people are also appreciating this anime for what it is. I just checked the My Anime List scoring just after finishing this, and it's really, really close to a 9, right? And I am absolutely shocked because I definitely did not expect that many people to give support to this anime. So I love it. And so certainly it is resonating with a lot of others as well. But speaking of which, it seems that a second season has not been officially announced yet, which makes me kind of bummed. But with this kind of overwhelming support and whatnot, I do have a feeling that it is very possible we could get a second season here. At the beginning of this, if you were to ask me if this could ever get a second season, I would say, nah, dog. That's, I would be surprised if this ever breaks into the top 10 list of anybody in any of the mainstream like ranking or trending stuff, because this is not exactly, again, it's coming out of nowhere. It's not really being backed by some major fan base already, or major production studio or major production budget or whatnot. But somehow, slowly, it grew to the stage that it was before, and that's just poetic, right? And so I love it so much. Okay, so let's not ramble too much. Let's talk a little bit more about what actually happened in this particular episode here, right? So obviously they go up on stage, they play and whatnot. They play their first song, and they're supposed to play 3 songs, right? And the second song is where Bocchi has her big solo here, and then obviously we know what happened. Bocchi broke her string. It was an E string, by the way. So I kind of like I was kind of confused by the wording and whatnot, but basically they were saying that the E string was broken and then the B string was out of tune because her peg broke. And anyways, like I said, it's been some time since I read the manga. Don't harp on me on that. I'm just watching what I could see. And so she decided to use, bottleneck playing. That is something real, by the way. However, I will say I feel like the sound is a little bit too clean, but that's kind of like a nitpicking factor here, right? That does happen and whatnot. And indeed, it's kind of like making a bar chord throughout the entire neck and whatnot, and also, there's some other characteristics too. I'm not gonna go too far into it because that's definitely not something that I do. I've just seen that before. I've never actually tried that myself either. But you can try it, right? You try it, and all I can say is that the sound is definitely quite muddy, if you will. So that's why I felt like the recording there felt a little bit too clean, honestly, especially spur of the moment and whatnot. But Bocchi's supposed to be a genius, right? So it is what it is. And so that happened. And yeah, that's basically, and then at the end of it, before they were going to the third song, Bocchi decided to make a stage dive. So how they actually played their last song, I don't know. Presumably they canceled it or something. You can't really continue playing without your lead guitars, right? When you're only a 4-piece band. Yeah, and so yeah, she's a legend. She's an effing legend. I do feel though, however, right? I recall in the manga they said how, hey, you can't just stage dive like that. You gotta set the Sphinx up. Nobody's gonna catch you if you just stage dive just like that. I don't know, right? If I actually saw this happening IRL, I don't know. I kind of have a feeling that I would. Like, if I was in the front row and whatnot, I feel like I would try to at least catch her. Moving out of the way to allow her to fall on the floor, that's so mean, though, right? It is kind of like it's actually really hard to catch somebody falling towards you. Like, it's regardless of how their age and their weight. Bocchi as a high school girl probably doesn't really weigh that much, like maybe like 40 kilograms at most or something like that, but still, still, it's kind of hard to catch. But even so, it's kind of mean to just everybody step out of the way and allow her to fall face first, right? So I'm just saying. Like if it was like a big dude or whatnot, maybe. But I mean, she's adorable. How can you allow her to fall to the floor, right? But anyways, but that definitely made for a much more comedic effect, right? So that's great and all, and that happened. Really, the standout things, of course, Kita-chan. I've talked about a lot how, if there's anything that's really unrealistic in terms of playing, it's definitely her. Like, once again, there's no ways that anybody can be that good in just 2 or 3 months and playing with that kind of skill and confidence, that level of skill and confidence and singing at the same time. No, all right, no. That does not happen in real life, but it is what it is. It's an anime after all. And I've said many times before, right? Don't sleep on Kita-chan's guitar part. Even though obviously Bocchi is getting most of the spotlight, and you can definitely hear, like I've said before, they do mix the lead guitar and rhythm guitar parts into different channels, left and right channel, so you can actually if you have headphones or earbuds and whatnot that are multi-channel, you can definitely hear the lead guitar in your right ear, whereas Kita's rhythm guitar is in your left ear, right? So you can very clearly distinguish between these two. But if you focus on Kita-chan's playing, she's actually playing some pretty complex parts as well. Those are not just very basic like power chord rhythm guitar playing. It's actually, some parts of it is quite complex. If you guys want to check out how complex it is, and I noticed that there's a lot of people on YouTube who are starting to cover Bocchi the Rock's songs, Kezuku Band's songs, and some guitarists do play both parts and show both parts. So do check that out if you are trying to get an understanding of what I'm trying to say here. I'm thankful for those videos and being there, because that way I think people can more visually directly see what I'm talking about here. Yeah, so that is that. Of course, that's also kind of because of her, like, her training with Rio and all that. That's kind of like whatever, right? Beyond that, her earning money due to her YouTube videos and then spending the money on buying an instrument. To be honest, like, something that's kind of ironic about this, and I do want to touch on this a little bit more, is how they're kind of like doing things backwards, right? Like, if we think back to a lot of different music anime, it's always you getting your first instrument, you're getting your instrument first, right? And, starting out, getting your instrument, the legendary encounter with your first instrument, getting to know it and whatnot. Whereas here, they're kind of like going it backwards. But again, there's a certain authenticity to this as well. I'm not saying like one is better than the other, right? But I'm just saying that it is definitely interesting to see them, how they're kind of like going back to what's the normal cliche, if you will, and instead choosing to put it there. And for it to still kind of make sense, because Bocchi has social anxiety, so it still kind of works out, which I found very, very funny. But yeah, not really too much to talk about that. But the place that they were talking about, right, that particular street, or in Ochanamizu, Ochanomizu, right? Ochanomizu is a station and also a particular street. There's lots of music shops there. I highly recommend you guys to check it out if you are there and you are like musically inclined and whatnot. You like, seriously, there's tons of good deals there and tons of instruments. Especially if you're a guitarist or bassist, like, you would absolutely be in heaven in that place. So I do recommend you guys to check it out. Yeah, I don't really think there's too much else I want to talk about in terms of that. I do love how they ended the entire thing, right? With that kind of like really indie vibe sort of song with Bocchi singing it and all that. Not really. I feel like it kind of like really ties up, right? Pun intended. This series as well, right? It's not really the kind of, how can I say it? It's not really ending on some really like happy-go-lucky or some really really jumping around happy sort of vibe or anything, because that's not the person Bocchi is. She's more of this reserved kind of person, and to be singing kind of like that and a more melancholic feeling, but still there is still a positive vibe throughout all of this, right? Which really, I feel like, summarizes this entire series very, very aptly. and of course ending it with Bocchi still complaining about going through, right? Like that's just, mwah, that is just chef's kiss. So yeah, really, I've been talking for 20 minutes already, and I hope you guys understand that the only reason why I'm rambling on so much about this is just because I love this series so much, because I love what they have done with this so much. Like, Bocchi the Rock, the manga, like, I liked it, but if I'm being entirely honest, it's also a situation where you don't really have that many alternatives, right? There's not that many music anime, and particularly rock band related music anime that's kind of sort of focusing on the music and not something else. But Bocchi the Rock, like, even though, you know, it definitely has a very eccentric kind of main character and eccentric kind of feel to it, the author, you could clearly see, is very, very into rock music and into J-rock music, right? I've been saying many times throughout the anime that the author constantly references popular bands and you know, their famous scenes, MV scenes and whatnot, or songs and so on and so forth, and it shows, right? And I'm just so glad that the adaptation here is not just a shitty adaptation, but one that really puts love into it, into the music, into the characters, and into the overall feeling and pace and flow and the animation and all that. Like, seriously, this deserves a second season. This absolutely deserves a second season, and hopefully you guys think so as well. So, like I said, you know, it's unfortunate that this could not have been done blind, right? Because, you know, I do still feel that blind reactions make for the best entertainment for you, the viewer, as well. But I feel like I have been surprised enough even with this, right? It's because this adaptation is so great that even I've been pleasantly surprised by something that I wasn't expecting, right? And I feel like that's probably, there's no more praise than that you can give to an anime, right? You weren't expecting this level of adaptation that really elevates the work beyond the original, and I think that is definitely the highest praise one can give to an anime. All right, anyways, I have been rambling on long enough. Really, go check out all the music, please. It's on YouTube, it's on streaming services, it's on Spotify, I'm sure it's on like Apple Music or Amazon or like all those other stuff as well. Yeah, go I guess go read the manga, though, you know, the manga probably, like I said before, there's very few times where I prefer an anime to the manga. Like, K-On! Is one of them, and definitely Bocchi the Rock is definitely also one of them as well. But actually, the manga still has its place, because, like I said, some of the references that the author makes and whatnot didn't really make it into the anime. So there's actually still merit to going back and reading the manga as well, even though, you know, even if it's just one scene or not, it's still like, if you know, you know, right? And so yeah. And, you know, thank you all of you guys for coming along and for giving this particular series a chance as well, right? Not only me, but also this series here. And, you know, hopefully there were some of you who were originally my viewers that were convinced to pick up the series as well. And anyways, I do some other works. Feel free to check them out. I don't really do a ton of reactions nowadays, but I still do some. And if nothing else, hopefully I will be seeing you guys again sometime in the future. Maybe for season 2. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Or maybe for something else. Until then, though, you know, stay safe, guys. Merry Christmas as well. And, yeah, hopefully I will see you guys next time. Maverick, signing off. Bye-bye.